Here's one of my favorites. Nidoking was falling down on his trainer Steven.
First they won and then they lost, so the match was even. Nidoking returned, he said, I can win this duel. So we called for all to hear, I choose Tentacruel.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 129th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. My name is SBJ, and with me today I have Will.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I hope everyone enjoyed last week's April Fool's episode where Travis just made up a bunch of stuff and was wrong most of the time.
It's usually Travis for you. Speaking of Travis, I have Travis.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
That was a pretty good Travis.
Almost.
That was really good. We came to the conclusion that we don't need Travis and Saul anymore because Andrew pretty much sums them up in one person.
I'm the 2-in-1 package.
So it's quite the steal we got at the local Kmart. Do people still shop at Kmart? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I suppose they must.
And there's one in wherever that school is, William and Mary, wherever that town, down there.
Perfect. That's so descriptive. And that new voice you've just heard laughing and giggling is a Kickstarter backer from our Battle City Kickstarter who donated a lot of money to be here. I feel very bad for you.
Yes, I bribed my way on.
Perfect. That's how Andrew did it too.
Yeah.
But we charge him per the hour. We have Megan with us today.
Yo.
Megan, since this is your first time on, can you give us a little bit about yourself, your love or hatred of Pokemon, whichever one brought you to be here?
Okay. Megan, 25, Texas. My first game was Red, and then I played Gold. I kind of fell out of it, got back into it around Platinum-ish. Currently, my favorite Pokemon is Azumarill. I run a Pokemon Tumblr, the URL of which is not appropriate for this show. And I'm not clinically an alcoholic, but I'm working on it. So that's all you need to know about me.
What a solid intro. Why do we decide to record so early? It's like 11 a.m. and I think it's early. So we got quite a bit of a show for you today. Last week I was at Irene's graduation. She graduated the thing called college. And so Travis recorded, and it was very competitive battling heavy, and a lot of people enjoyed that. So you're getting none of that today. Enjoy. We do have a lot of news to cover since last time, and since some people would say, air quotes, Christmas is coming, we're going to do like a little Christmas thing. You can't even see me doing this air quote thing. We're just going to say what we want for Christmas. That's pretty much it. So if you hate Christmas like Will, then don't even...
I call it the consensual holiday of giving.
I like giving.
I like receiving.
I'm more of a taker.
Let's see. Okay, so we will jump right into news. Our first bit of news, which I lost. Let's just start with the boring news. Pokemon X and Y is coming to Cartoon Network. That's pretty boring. No, I'm just kidding. In January, Cartoon Network will debut the brand new X and Y anime. They will also be featuring some movies. They will be doing the Pokemon the First movie as well to kick off the season. This is going to be starting... Get this, guys. Get this. It is Pokemon the First movie digitally remastered, which will debut on Saturday, January 4th.
Early in the morning, right?
Yeah, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Pacific.
Nope.
Come on, you'll still be up, dude.
Probably.
From the night before, just you push it a few more hours.
Keep pushing it. Did anyone like Pokemon the First movie? Does it hold up? I think it holds up pretty well.
I think it's my favorite.
I never even liked it as a child, so I tried to rewatch it probably a year ago, and I fell asleep. So no, I can't really say that I like it.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it since it first came out, so I don't remember if it's good or not. There's a Mewtwo in there, isn't there?
There's a Mewtwo Pokemon, I think. And then there's that Misty Pokemon as well. Yeah, digitally remastered, I don't know what that exactly means.
HD
was that movie
Turbo Remix.
Yeah, maybe. Was that movie in widescreen? I guess it would have been in widescreen since it was theater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it a little more watchable, right? Afterwards, on Saturday, January 11th, there will be another animated special, Pokemon Mewtwo Prologue to Awakening, which is, and then its prequel, Pokemon the movie Genesect and the Legend Awakening, will follow that afterwards. I've never heard of this Prologue to Awakening.
I actually watched that. I mean, in Japanese, obviously, with subtitles, but it's where they introduced the new Mewtwo, the one that's a girl, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. You know,
I watched it too. It was. I don't even remember it being like a preview. I don't like being advertised as a preview.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a special, but I guess it's a preview.
It was just kind of a one-off type thing. But I think that new Mewtwo is in the Genesect movie, so it kind of connects together.
Yeah. The Mega Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Mewtwo. And then finally, the much anticipated, this is the copy I'm reading here, the much anticipated season premiere of Pokemon the series X and Y will debut on Saturday, January 18th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Pacific Time.
Why?
Because people have DVRs nowadays. You just record it and watch it later.
It's the only time spot they could afford. Do we know if I'm assuming it's like every series where Ash loses all his Pokemon but Pikachu and starts over?
Well, he doesn't lose them, Steve. He leaves them with Professor Oak. He doesn't just abandon them in the forest.
He just lets them all go.
Yeah.
Wonder trades them away.
No, I think he gets a Froakie this season. I haven't really been keeping up with it, but I think I'm aware that he gets a Froakie. So.
Yeah, in the they did the pilot they showed actually a couple months ago, and he does pick up Froakie as his first Kalos starter, and I don't think he had anybody else with him besides Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And do we know his companions? It's the dude with the robot arm, right?
Yeah, it's Clement, and then his sister Bonnie, and then Serena, like the female player character.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that kind of wraps up.
I've seen like 2 episodes of X and Y, but I remember that much.
Yeah.
the Japanese one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Props to you. Subtitles are...
Yeah, I don't usually watch it because I really hate subtitles, so I'll usually just sort of wait until it's dubbed. And then
it was your hatred that brought you here.
No, I don't hate it. It's just, I don't really watch the anime unless I have nothing better to do,
Got it.
Maybe if I'm cleaning my house and I need something to play for 3 hours in the background to put the anime on, but...
There we go. Let's get to some more exciting news here. Not that anime is not exciting.
Oh, I just cut out.
What? You're here. Fire Red and Leaf Green music has showed up in iTunes. This is based off the game that launched in 2004, which it was based off the original soundtrack from the Kanto region. It showed up in iTunes. I think it was $11.99 for 100 and some tracks. I don't know if there's
remixes.
Plus remixes. Andrew, do you have any more fun facts about this? Otherwise, the article for me is pretty much done.
I guess, yeah. If you want them just for the remixes, you could find them on YouTube easily.
Well, I bought the album and listened to it once, and now it comes up in shuffle, like when I shuffle my music, and then I'm like, oh, that's nice. But otherwise, yeah, it's not one to sit down and listen to through.
It's a nice soundtrack, I guess. It doesn't make me want to play the game again, but it's nice to have.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I have both the Pokemon X and Y Super Music, and then I got this, of course, when it came out, but I haven't really sat or listened to both of them. Sometimes it comes on during Shuffle, and it's just like, what is this? Oh, it's Pokemon music. Okay, like, I'm not in the mood listening to this driving right now.
Mm.
Yeah, but you guys hear in the break, and it's more break music for you guys, so I guess that's worth the $11.99, right?
Right. Well, I like that they're bothering to release these soundtracks, you know? Like, they realize there's an audience for them, which is nice.
Yes. I know the X and Y did hit the top 10 in iTunes, which is very, very impressive. Beat out Miley Cyrus for about 2 hours. Fire Red and Leaf Green did not have the same impact. It did make it to the top 100, but I want to say the highest it got was like 30 in iTunes when I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was, bad timing on their part, or if it was $2 more than X and Y, or it could be any number of things. But the good news is fans can expect more Pokemon music. The Pokemon Company plans on doing soundtracks for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Ruby and Sapphire, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, and Black and White 2. So that's 5 more soundtracks we'll be expecting in 2014.
I guess I got mine a little bit too early because I have all the Japanese soundtracks.
I can't imagine they're any different.
Nope. The Fire Red Leaf Green is exactly the same as the one in iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Except with Japanese titles.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you know Japanese, Andrew, you don't know what you're listening to. You don't know which song that Fuchsia City Gym is. Unless you know just by playing. The more exciting news, and probably the Christmas present we'll all be wanting, is Pokemon Bank is coming out on December 27th.
Yeah, I'm a little stressed out about that because I wanted to finish the Kalos Pokedex before that, so that it's not like I'm cheating by just moving things up from Black and White 2, where I completed the Pokedex, and I'm running out of time.
I also wanted to complete the Kalos Pokedex before the bank opened, and I think I did a pretty good job for somebody who runs a Pokemon podcast but doesn't actually play Pokemon. I had like 250 in my decks right now, but I don't know. Go ahead.
I was actually able to finish it.
I thought you had more to
is it
go.
just boasting?
I feel like, let me interrupt you so I can just say I got it done.
I have a job and a life and charitable giving that I do that takes away from my time to complete Pokemon Pokedexes.
I have none.
Well, I didn't even try, so I'm very impressed that y'all at least put forth the effort.
I still have 4 days.
That's true.
It's doable.
Days.
It's probably doable if you grind a lot. I'm in this dilemma now whether I should attempt to finish my Kalo decks or attempt to organize my Black and White and my Black and White 2 so when Bank comes out I can just easily transfer stuff.
Well, I don't know why we'd have to organize your Black and White and your Black and White 2. Just dump those suckers in the Pokemon Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Empty those cartridges out.
I thought only Black 2 could do it. Oh no, Black and White and Black and White 2. Never
They're
mind.
basically the same game.
Yeah.
It's like they're a sequel or something. Let's see. For those of you that don't know or don't read PokemonPodcast.com, where we post these news articles from time to time, Pokemon Bank will cost $4.99 a year. You can try them complimentary for 30 days. So if you don't want to pay $5 a year because you can't afford 50 cents a month, you can try those free for 30 days. You can deposit, withdraw, and manage up to 3,000 Pokemon in private boxes online. You can transfer for multiple copies of X and Y. I believe this all works using your Nintendo ID, which just got updated a week or two ago. And then for those of you that don't know, once you transfer from Black and White and Black and White 2 to X and Y, you cannot transfer back.
Yeah, so you can take everything out of those cartridges, reset them, and get, a whole new set of those Pokemon. Hooray! Which I consider a crime.
The other thing that we found out leading up to this news is that if you download Pokemon Bank anytime between December 27th and September 30th, 2014, you will be able to get the time travel Celebi.
That's pretty sweet. Get that rare legendary Pokemon that's hard to get.
I wonder what made them end it in September of all months.
That's a lot of time.
It could be a full year.
Yeah, I wonder if like September 13th is like something, or September 30th is something significant. Like that's like when we can afford to release another Pokemon into your guys' hands or something.
No, that's when Pokemon AB will come out.
The Celebi comes with a special move called Hold Back, which is an attack that cannot be learned through normal gameplay. It will always leave the target with 1 HP no matter what, it looks like. So it's kind of like...
So it's false swipe.
Yeah. Guaranteed false swipe, because I guess false swipe is normal, so it doesn't always bring them to 1 HP.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that makes sense.
Your Celebi will also know the moves Recover, Heal Bell, and Safeguard. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's the same information as before. So you guys have a lot of days to redeem your Celebi.
And I think on that Celebi, you can't reset for a nature, because it's just randomly given to you. So hopefully they give you one that's a decent enough nature that you want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we? Is it possible to soft reset for legendaries anymore? Is that a thing?
At least for natures. I don't know if it is for shiny.
I mean, I remember, and this is totally off topic, it just made me think of it. In Black and White, wasn't Zekrom and Reshiram, like, you couldn't get them in shiny form?
Yeah.
Is that the same with, like, Mewtwo and X and Y?
I think so, probably, yeah.
What a bummer. I only say that because I'm, like, on Miiverse all the time, and then I saw one dude post, like, I got a shiny Mewtwo, and then everyone was like, it didn't happen, and then he was like, I'm so sad because you guys don't believe me. It was a very hilarious thread.
You know what this tells you, Steve? Stop reading Miiverse.
Oh, no. Let's talk about Miiverse for a second. Real talk here. Miiverse is like Facebook if you were friends with kids in elementary school.
That sounds horrible.
It does. It does, but Nintendo does this brilliant job of not releasing anyone's identity, so it's safe, of course, so I don't feel creepy being friends with 5-year-olds, but the way their mind thinks and like how they write things and post things is just so funny. And I would be really curious to see their Facebook post because I'm sure they're just as hilarious.
Oh, I'm glad they've added it to 3DS now, so I can get in on that action.
I think I only have like 2 posts on Miiverse so far, and the one post that I did was about Mario Party, the new Mario Party game, and that was my claim to fame on Miiverse, was just that post.
Did you get a bunch of yas?
Yeah, I got like 13.
Nice.
Is Miiverse only for the Wii U or the Wii, or do they have it on?
It just came to 3DS.
Okay, because I haven't bought a television console since 2002, so I'm kind of behind on most gaming things.
Yeah, it's on 3DS. Just came to 3DS. Of course, it started on Wii U. I think the interface is best on Wii U just because of the bigger screen and the more real estate. There is not an iOS app, but it's mobile ready. If you go to I don't even know what it is, like Miiverse.nintendo.com, you can like scroll on it on your Android phone or your iOS device. Nintendo did say they are coming out with an actual Miiverse app in the spring. I would assume that would only let you post text content though, and not the drawing content, since that would be a reason for you to get a 3DS or Wii U, since they both use that drawing functionality.
Right. I just feel like such an old fart because I don't have a smartphone or a television or a gaming console that isn't handheld.
The only thing you need in life, a 3DS.
Exactly.
Pretty
Blast
much.
from the past.
Does the Wii U Miiverse have more communities, or am I mistaken?
They do. They have all the Wii U communities, and I think they have the 3DS communities, but the 3DS can only see 3DS.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah, because I remember the 3DS can see some Wii U ones.
Yeah, like the Year of Luigi one is, I think, a universal one.
Yeah.
Which is also that's probably the funniest one. FYI, if you guys are just looking for funny things, Year of Luigi is the best one. I think that's all we have.
I actually have one more thing about Pokemon Bank.
Oh, do you? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so you actually can earn either Pokemiles, which, quote, quote, useless, or battle points based on the number of Pokemon you store in Pokemon Bank and for the length of time that you keep them stored in there, and then you can transfer those down to your X and Y game. So if you're like me and you have no capability in the Battle Maison to do anything, you can still get battle points and buy those items that you can only buy with battle points if you just store things in the Pokemon Bank.
Cool.
There you go.
So there you go. News
Also,
you can use.
Right.
I actually missed a news article. Thank you, Will, for including your news so I can include more news. There was an update to Pokemon X and Y. We are now in update 1.2, which hopefully you guys all did. If you haven't done so, this is what that update does. It was released on December 13th, by the way. It fixes an issue where moves which Pokemon learn while evolving with Wonder Trade are not appearing. Didn't know if that was an issue or not for any of you. Fixes an issue where some users cannot view the promotional video taglines in Lumos City events, and fixes a minor change to the internet connection method.
There's actually a thing that stops you from going online on X and Y until you update, so that's what
Doesn't
will
it
force you.
fix that, that program that someone had made where you could see people's moves on
Yep.
Wi-Fi battles? It fixes that, right?
Yep, that's why they
Yeah.
updated it.
Yeah, I had heard of that. I don't do competitive at all, but I still kind of heard about that, and so it's good they made a patch for that.
Wait, I didn't hear anything about that. What?
It was basically for trading online. It was to make sure that you weren't getting gypped of IVs or something like that, but then people took it a little bit too far and started using it to see other people's teams on battles. And that's pretty much it.
But how does that even work? Do you have to hack your 3DS or?
It's something to do with your
program, wasn't it? An application on your computer.
You're supposed to hook up your router to your computer and do all this convoluted stuff to make it function properly.
Right. Well, what it boiled down to is you could do Wi-Fi battles and see people's movesets before they'd used any moves, and so they've gone and fixed that, so it's more fair.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Those
crazy.
folks at Silphco will never stop creating these evil programs.
I don't know. I find all that stuff really impressive, actually. I remember in Gens 4 and 5, they had, GTSs that you had to reroute your 3DS, to a different URL or server or whatever it's called, and you could get free shinies and things like that. And I actually did that back in the day. There was a German place, because I had a bad experience trying to get an official release, and I was finally you know what? I'm an adult. I'm not going to waste hours of my life when I can just pay this German man $2 to give me this event Pokemon. But again, I'm glad they fixed that particular issue, but I'm also always really impressed with the community and the way they're able to circumvent, all the official whatevers.
I mean,
I guess
it was
be, but I don't know. I think it's cool.
For its honest methods. It was actually pretty cool, but it just went down to the dishonest way.
Yeah, I feel if you're going to use it to, help people get event Pokemon that they couldn't get otherwise or whatever, that's cool. But if you're just going to use it to cheat in Wi-Fi battles, that's super lame. How much of a loser are you that you need to cheat at Pokemon?
I heard that there was actually a way to make sure you got a shiny Pokemon using that method, but that was another long process in itself.
Oh, is that where I read about that? I never tried it, but in Gen 6, everyone's assigned a secret ID or whatever, and you can check eggs and see what their secret ID is, and then find someone who has that and trade it to them, and so it'll always hatch shiny for that person. Yeah, I think that's actually really cool, because it takes a lot of teamwork, it's not just you push a button on a program and it's magically shiny. Like, you've got to find another person whose cartridge has this exact ID and, like, trade with them and hope they give it back to you. And I don't know. Like,
Yeah, David Thomas.
Big time cheater. Yep.
he had very vocal opinions about that, and there was a big Twitter conversation. I can't remember which side he was on, but it is an interesting concept. My personal opinion about that is as nice as that is to get shinies instantly, since you have to give it to somebody else and they have to hatch it, their name is on it, and like that just takes away from it. Like I get that you're going to be able to give me shinies, but like your name is going to be on every single one of them, and like I'm very particular, and like if I hatch a Pokemon or like if I want to use this for the long run or keep it with me for generation to generation, I kind of want my name to always be on it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
That's just me.
It is just you.
That is just me, man. This show is going to now take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some more Pokemon stuff. But before that, we're going to get a message from our sponsors and a cool coupon code for you, and then we will be right back.
Sucks.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Steve.
Do you know what I hate?
What do you hate, Steve?
I hate going to the store.
Why do you hate going to the store?
It's just a hassle. But do you know what I love?
What do you love?
I love socks.
This podcast is brought to you by FootCardigan.com. Foot Cardigan delivers one random pair of crazy socks to your mailbox every month.
So crazy that you can use the code POKESOCKS, POKESOCKS, and you will receive 20% off your Foot Cardigan subscription. Not only do they offer free shipping to everyone in the US, but they will now offer $2 shipping to anywhere in the world. So if you live in the Philippines, Justin, they will send socks to you for $2.
It's pretty good. I love socks. Like, love them.
Socks are great. They keep your feet warm.
Especially in this cold time, like winter right now. It's perfect for the upcoming months.
That's right. And if you haven't gotten anyone a Christmas or Hanukkah gift yet, here you go. This is it.
Every month, we put the surprise back into the mailbox and fun on your feet. Foot Cardigan socks are a great gift for anyone during the holidays, even yourself.
It's the dreams your feet have always wanted. Get started at Foot Cardigan today. And we are back from our break to talk about what we would want for the holidays from the Pokemon Company if we were to have any wish. I wish I was a fish. Who wants to start?
Will does.
What? Oh, well, what would I want from the Pokemon Company for holiday of giving end of year toy day in Animal Crossing?
Okay.
I would like for them to somehow reveal a way that they will make Megastones that are currently version exclusive available in the alternate game, because that really that was one thing that I was discussing with Travis before the games came out, whether the Megastones you'd be able to get like Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y available on one cartridge, and it turns out that it's not possible, that you basically have to buy both copies in order if you want to get all of the Megastones and not either take Megastones from somebody else or be one of those people that resets a game, which I think is just the wrong thing to do. You have to buy 2 copies of the game, which is, in our previous discussion, that means that cynicism wins. Altruism does not exist in the Pokemon world. And Most likely, I'm going to end up buying a copy of Pokemon X, even though I did not intend to, just so that I can make sure that I have all the Mega Stones and everything. But yes, if I could, if there really were something wonderful and special about this time of year, which I truly feel there is not, and the Pokemon Company was going to give us something, I would want a way to get Mega Stones from the other version in the games, crossed over.
I feel like that's a very simple wish.
That will still go unfulfilled.
No,
Of all the things you could wish for from Game Freak.
No, like if that's cool. That is all you want. I would foresee that happening eventually, unless
I'd see the second version being able to do that.
and we don't know when that is. If that's a year, if that's 2 years, or if Pokemon's going to throw us a curveball and give us remakes of Gold and Silver.
Wait, Pokemon A and B?
Pokemon A and B.
Coming out October 2014?
Pokemon G and Pokemon S. Interesting. Anyone else want to go? I can go. It's no big deal.
Okay.
The suspense. So what I would want for the holidays, and I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, but I would actually love if Pokemon got rid of IVs in the game. I think with having EVs and with having natures and with having the ability of female and male and shinies, that is enough for somebody to enjoy the game and have different enough Pokemon. And I feel like IVs hurt the game. And why I say that is not only because I don't have patience for IVs, but like the main concept or the main reason one would play Pokemon would be to try to catch all these Pokemon and have them and raise them and carry them over to next generation and next generation. But especially with like X and Y and all the games I've played, it's like you go through and you catch all these Pokemon and they come with you to the Elite Four and you put 30 or 40 hours in. If you're slow like me, you put 50 or 60 hours in to beat the game. And all your Pokemon really are useless because their IVs aren't good, because you don't have time to IV train at the beginning of the game. You just catch these Pokemon that you've encountered, you've raised them throughout the game, and you get to the end and you're like, okay, time to start over so I can get perfect IVs, and then you spend so much time focusing on IVs, and that's one reason why IVs drive me crazy. Another reason is competitive battling, where everyone already has perfect IVs, and if you don't have perfect IVs, you're not even going to be close to competing with the best of the best. So it's like that now I have to do this time investment to start forming a team, and if I want to make tweaks to a team, I have to go back and get more perfect IVs and start again. To me, the time would be better spent doing something else. Maybe people would complete their Pokedex more if they didn't have to focus on IVs. Maybe people would trade more if they didn't have to focus on IVs. Maybe you could introduce a new gameplay mechanic so people didn't have to focus on IVs, because at the end of the day, people just want perfect IVs, and you're setting up this roadblock to try to make Pokemon different, but you're not succeeding with that.
So you ready for me to tell you why you're wrong?
Yes.
Well,
I was ready to agree.
Have you ever had grass-fed beef? Like completely organic, no hormones, grass-fed beef?
I maybe at a restaurant that I spent.
I know you like beef.
I love corn dogs, man.
The difference is that, if you are just mass producing cattle and you're just pumping whatever hormones in and doing it the easy way, it doesn't taste as good as those, cultivated, grass-fed only, well taken care of, the hard work grown beefs. And the people who actually put the work in to breed for IVs and do all that finding and everything, they get the reward that they get better. And I know there's cheaters out there who make their Pokemon in a computer, but if the real people who actually work for their IVs, and I think of folks like Justin in the Philippines, he puts in the time. But IV breeding doesn't stop me from Pokedex completion. I have one neutral-natured Ditto that will live in the daycare for the rest of all eternity because I don't care, what nature it breeds out as long as it's breeding Pokemon for me. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't stop me from that. It's really just the competitive people who care about IVs. And you.
And me.
Well, I'm not sorry to interject here, I'm not a competitive battler at all. That component of Pokemon could vanish entirely and it would not diminish my enjoyment of the series. So everything I know about competitive is just outside looking in, and maybe I would have a different opinion if I was actually a competitive battler. But to me, it seems there's two kind of halves to that. It's one, creating the Pokemon that you need to battle with, and then two, actually battling and doing the strategy, which you could maybe be analogous to, say, carving your own chess pieces and then actually playing the game of chess. And to me, as an outsider looking in, it seems kind of like a big waste of time to set all of these arbitrary, okay, here's what you have to do to carve your perfect chess pieces, and then you have to spend hours and hours training to play the game of chess. I kind of like what Steve said, if there was no IVs, everyone would have a more equal footing, and you wouldn't have to waste all that time IV breeding when you could train and actually battling and strategy and what the metagame is right now. It's just a totally arbitrary roadblock that the Pokemon Company has set up. And good for you if you actually take the time to do all the breeding and make the perfect Pokemon, but that doesn't have to exist. The actual fun of the game and the point of the game is the battles and choosing the moves and the strategy. Creating the Pokemon is almost a roadblock to getting to that. But again, that's an outsider looking in, and maybe I would have a different opinion if I was actually a competitive battler myself. But I'm inclined to agree with Steve, just initially.
Yeah, and I would say it's not that much of a roadblock because you just get Justin to do it for you. That dude has so much free time.
Right, exactly. But then there's that hypocrisy of people who use Pokesalve are cheaters, and then if you ask your friend to breed it for you, then that's totally okay, even though either way you're not doing it yourself.
Because he's putting in the work.
He should get paid for what he does.
My Pokemon are handcrafted in the Philippines.
Andrew, do you have an opinion on that?
I guess Generation 6 was the only time I really started caring about IVs. The only way it's the only point in my whole Pokemon career where I started tracking my IVs. Generation 5, I just really didn't care. If it had a good nature, if it had a good characteristic, that was fine enough with me. But now I'm starting to see, the benefits to having a perfect 531s across the board for any Pokemon that you needed. But, I could also do without it because there's times when you're going to go online and just get wiped by somebody who has perfect IVs in every stat. And I guess it's not really fair to the players that don't know a thing about it. And they're like, oh, well, I trained it in my attack and all that or whatever, and they're still getting beat. It would give them a fair chance to maybe place higher than an average competitive player. But it would also give, I guess, the more competitive player more of a chance to see what they can do with just regular EVs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I get what Will was saying about the organic and the grass bred and anything. And I would probably care a little bit less. So let's say they keep IVs for whatever crazy reason. They will always keep IVs. Because they might not. They made EV training easier, so that's a huge step forward in helping people understand the more in-depth competitive battle. But let's say we keep IVs forever. I would really like, instead, as a compromise, that when you battle online, all your IVs get put at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess equal to their highest.
Yeah, they boost you to level 50 anyways, if you're at level 49, so why not match IVs? Because, again, in a competitive battle, if you're not at perfect IVs, you're not playing the same game as the person that is at perfect IVs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree with Steve. That's how I see it. To me, that's like a chess match rewarding one chess player for hand carving his own pieces, when really that shouldn't matter. The only thing that should matter is the strategy and the thought you put into your game,
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion.
And if we've learned anything from the anime, Pikachu does not have perfect IVs. Always losing to Snivies and Oshawotts.
His level resets.
Speaking of EV training, I'm sorry if you use super training, but that's like the slowest way to EV train a Pokemon in X and Y.
It is slower, but it's
fun.
It's really good for people who like they want to do the mini games and they understand the benefit, or they don't understand actual EV training, and this is their way to like slowly understand it, or an easy way for them to compete.
Or if you're me and you're just way too lazy to look up where you ought to be EV training, you can do it anywhere, which is really nice. Like, I'm not competitive. I'm not really into all of that, but I do try and EV train, when I can. And, it's nice to be able to do that anywhere versus going, oh, okay, this Pokemon that has, gives attack EVs is on this route, so I have to go and Sweet Scent and make a horde and da-da-da. It's like, no, just do the EV training game and you can do it anywhere,
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 holiday wantings left. Who's next?
I'll go if you want.
Sure.
Okay, let's go back to Generation 3. There was that time when they had the Coliseum and the XDs. Those were fun times for me. I like
the Coliseums and the XDs.
Yep. That was actually when I started really playing more Pokemon in my life, and I really want something like that again on a next-gen console like a Wii U, with every single Pokemon, not just limited to whatever Coliseum and XD were, because they had all the way up to Generation 3 at that time, and they still weren't using all of the Pokemon that they could.
Do you want to explain to some of the listeners, if they didn't play Coliseum or XD, what that was exactly?
Oh, well, basically, in Coliseum, they used this thing where if you were playing like Ruby and Sapphire, they would give you all of the Johto Pokemon that you couldn't get in Ruby and Sapphire to your games for Ruby and Sapphire, so that's basically what the whole games are built around. But the fact that the only way to get them into Ruby and Sapphire was to purify them of being a shadow Pokemon. So there's that whole incentive of, I need to go through the whole game, I need to catch all the shadow Pokemon and purify them and then send them over to my Ruby and Sapphire so I can complete my Pokedex. And then the same thing again with XD was a companion game to Emerald, and that was for the same reason as Ruby and Sapphire. And I really want that kind of game again for X and Y, but with the online that Battle Revolution had, but more of a story than Battle Revolution had, because Battle Revolution was trash, and nobody ever played for
it was trash.
For the story, the small story that it did have. But I really want like Pokemon Wii U. I don't know. The big 3D adventure on Wii U.
Yeah, the only thing we have on Wii U is Rumble for Pokemon, and it's definitely one of the best Rumble games, but that's not saying much.
Well, aren't they making they showed a clip or something, and they're making like a fighting game for the Wii U?
That would be cool.
Oh, yes.
That's what I heard.
All about that.
That should be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's something we don't have. I mean...
I'm waiting for the Pokemon Kart Racer. That would be cool. Megan, what would you like for the holidays?
Okay. Well, honestly, what I would like for the holidays is an R18 Pokemon dating sim, but I'm not going to go into detail about that.
You and Carly alike.
That would probably violate the terms of the show. So, second best thing would be not Ruby Sapphire remakes, sequels on the 3DS set in Hoenn. I just think Hoenn's a really beautiful region, and it would look really good on the 3DS. And doing sequels instead of remakes would push the series forward versus kind of taking a step backward. I don't know, Hoenn's my favorite region. I just think it would look really, really beautiful with 3DS graphics. And doing a sequel would let them change everything that people didn't like about Hoenn. And, you couldn't complain because it wasn't a remake. It wasn't trying to recreate an old game. I don't know. I think it would just look really cool. So that's what I would want.
With that being said, do you think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were a step back?
I don't know, because I know people had a lot of nostalgia for, gold and silver, and so I think in terms of, units moved and what it did for sales, it probably wasn't a step backward. But some people seem to have this idea that, okay, well, they remade Fire Red, Leaf Green, they remade Heart Gold, Soul Silver, so they're just going to do remakes forever, and I don't think that's necessarily, one, what they want to do, or two, what would be best for the brand. So as a Hoenn lover, I would much rather see sequels versus remakes for the 3DS. I really want to return to Hoenn. I think they did a good job on the Game Boy Advance. They really kind of pushed what it was capable of in terms of environments with Ruby Sapphire. You had the sandstorm desert and all the sea routes and the volcano and the jungles and everything else. And I think translating all of that to the 3DS would be a really fun experience, but not as a remake, as a sequel, forward, not backward.
Yeah. I was saying during the break, like, how X and Y really references a lot of different regions, and people just like to pick out the fact that they mention Hoenn a lot. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
They reference Kanto and Unova and pretty much every other region in X and Y, so...
Right.
Hold off.
Yeah, and as someone who would love to go back to Hoenn, I really get frustrated when people act like it's a done deal. Like, oh, they mentioned that Hoenn exists in this one game, so obviously they're going to remake it. Like, that's not true, As someone who really wants that, I find it frustrating when people act like it's a certainty. And so it's not something that I necessarily think will happen, but I really would like it. I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm translating what they did with Hoenn to the 3DS, but that's just me.
But I will give those people credit that I guess Game Freak likes to use Hoenn's music a lot, much more specifically their battle themes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the games out now, like Unova's Elite Four had Hoenn's Elite Four music in there, and so does the Champion for X and Y has I think the Gym Leader battle from Hoenn in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's nice to see callbacks like that, but that's not a confirmation at all.
Yeah, definitely.
Gen 3 did have the best TV commercials.
The most confusing TV commercials.
That's true.
They had the ones where like they were holding the Pokemon that kind of looked like
booth?
them. Yeah. It was really, I think that's a really iconic commercial for the Pokemon Company.
Yeah, it was nice.
So I was curious whether anybody ever got to the point in Black and White 2 where you could take Skyla's airplane to Hoenn. Oh, that's right, because it didn't happen. All you speculators.
Exactly. And people, even as far back as like Black and White, would say things like, "Oh, look, in Black and White, they've added in the dive ball, even though you can't, dive. So clearly, that means they're going to remake Hoenn in Gen 5." And like, no, they didn't. Guess what?
That's hilarious. I would love to take all our speculation from the beginning of the year and match it with what came true at the end of the year in an episode. I think that would be hilarious, especially when I was listening to last week's episode where Travis was like, "I'm so excited to move my level 100 Gardevoir over, and now it's Fairy," but back in like March he was like, "I'm so mad that my level 100 is now a Fairy type."
Hey, fairies are cool.
Fairies are cool.
They are. I'm so happy for Fairy type because before this gen, Azumarill was one of my favorite Pokemon, but it wasn't super usable. And now they've just like waved a magical wand and made it really good. And I'm like, oh my god, how often does that happen? That one of your favorite Pokemon just like magically becomes good and competitive.
I'm just still waiting on Golduck to be Moon type, and then we'll be all set.
I'll give you your Moon type.
Moonblast, that's confirmed, right? Is that what the move's called? I don't even know what it's called. Moonblast.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Moon type confirmed. I think that's all we have for what we would want for the holidays. I think we all had very good answers, so that was fun. It was enjoyable. It's like not talking to Travis enjoyable.
Yeah.
Burn. All right, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll do our Pokemon of the week, and we will then do our goodbyes before the holidays.
Here, that's right. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus. big red cherry nose.
Santa's got a big red cherry nose.
Who laughs this way? Ho, ho, ho!
Santa laughs this way. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho!
Cherry nose.
And we are back once again, again, to wrap up our show. A good show, as that is. I'm already saying it's a good show, and it's not even over. It's all downhill now.
Still has time.
I'm going to ruin it, Steve.
We are going to do our Pokemon of the Week, which I am unprepared for because I didn't type that URL in, so stand by. All right, our Pokemon of the Week is... This is where I insert the... Delibird!
Yay!
That's because he looks like Santa.
He is Santa. He's the Pokemon Santa.
I will do the tradition here and read something from Delibird. I don't know what I should read though. Let's read this. Delibird is a red penguin-like Pokemon with a white hollow tail. Its face and chest are covered in white feathers with two 3-pointed crest above its eyes. Black markings surround its circular eyes, and it has a yellow beak and feet. Bulbapedia, sentences not forming. There is a single white spot on its stomach. Its feet each have 2 digits. Delibird carries food, a bundle up in its tail. It normally gives stored food to chicks. Like chicks as in like little birds or like...
No, girls.
Hot ladies.
Hot ladies.
It says to its chicks.
No.
It's hot ladies.
It's hot ladies.
Okay.
But it has been known to share food with humans stranded on icy mountains. Delibird's signature move is Present, which allows it to carry special items in its tail and may cause damage or heal its opponent. Delibird tends to live on mountainous regions, making its nest over sharp cliffs. One notable area of the world is Mount Everest.
That is a notable area of the world. What does that have to do with Delibird?
What does that have to do with like any current region? Mount Everest confirmed. Hoenn confirmed. Mount Everest. That was interesting. We know Delibird likes hot chicks, but
How about them hot stats?
Tail.
Is Delibird the only Pokemon that can learn Present besides Smeargle?
I think
It's
so.
the only one. No, it's the only one that can learn it by level up.
Yeah, I think it's a signature move.
That's the
It is, but it can be taught to other Pokemon through breeding.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me pulling a Travis.
Look at you pulling a Travis. If you get a shiny Delibird, he is pink instead of red.
Meh.
Yeah.
Well, seeing as Present is his signature move, we should just discuss that it's basically the 50-50 when you throw a present at your opponent, it either does damage to them or it heals them, and you can't tell.
It doesn't do very much damage, does it?
80.
No, I don't.
I think it was a flat 80.
Right, but his attack is so low that it just doesn't matter.
Or is it like Sonic Boom or Swift, where it's like a stiff 80 no matter what? I can't imagine. That would be very powerful for like a level 1 Delibird.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a gimmick.
Can I actually plug like a ROM hack that makes Delibird really incredible?
Yes.
Obviously.
In Blaze Black 2 and Volt White 2, but Delibird gets like a really huge buff that makes him incredible. It's basically like a pseudo-legendary in that game, and it's worth having a Delibird in those 2 games, so...
Cool.
If you're ever going to play Blaze Black 2 or Volt White 2, use a Delibird.
I will do that.
Speaking of legendary, the Pokemon Ultimate Handbook states that Delibird is a legendary Pokemon.
Good.
Perfect. They knew.
As they should.
Delibird is one of the few Pokemon who can learn TM moves when it learns fewer than 4 moves by leveling up. What does that mean?
It only learns 4 moves while leveling up.
Mm-hmm. But it can still take TMs.
Oh, I see in Gen... Oh, no.
Versus like Magikarp, which I don't think can take TMs, unless I'm wrong.
Yes.
I don't think it can.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. This is the origin here. Because of its red and white color scheme and the ability to give presents and its appearance of carrying a sack-like tail, may have been diverted from Santa Claus and the white stork. I guess that's like the thing that carries babies, right?
Yeah.
Delibird may have been inspired by puffins, which are penguin-like birds that still have the ability to fly.
I think Abomasnow is more of a Santa than Delibird ever will be.
I like Delibird. I think, you know how there's that meme of like, what's your spirit Pokemon? I've always thought Delibird would be my spirit Pokemon, so I have a soft spot for it.
I just remember Delibird in Pokemon Stadium 2, that little like mini game where like you have to run to the side and grab like a piano and then carry it back.
So hear me out, Mega Delibird.
Exactly. And also in the anime, Delibird works for Team Rocket. There's the Delibird that delivers orders to Jesse and James in Meowth. So
Well, he's trying to collect their dues.
exactly, like they don't pay their dues, so they like get kicked out of Team Rocket, and so Delibird like harasses them occasionally.
Can we get a Mega Delibird? It just drives a delivery truck.
No, you know what I totally wanted in X and Y and we never got? I wanted a dragon type Mega Dunsparce. Okay? That's all I wanted out of X and Y.
I can see Dunsparce getting an evolution.
I know, just like an amazing, crazy, terrifying, like dragon normal type Mega Dunsparce. That's all I wanted out of X and Y and we didn't get it. So maybe Gen 7.
Like a Gyarados?
Yeah, just like this insane looking demon monster. Like Dunsparce just oh god. It'd be so funny.
Back to Mega Delibird being a FedEx driver. Somebody draw that? Send it over.
I think it is drawn.
Make it happen.
I gotta find it because it's drawn.
It's just been drawn. I'll put it on a shirt. We'll get sued from both Pokemon and FedEx all in one.
Nice.
Let's see. I don't think there's anything too interesting. Delibird's not competitive at all. It has base stats of 330. Weak to rock. 4 times weak to rock. 2 times weak to steel, fire, and electric. Immune to ground. Resistant to bug and grass.
You know, it's funny you say that, but I did actually battle somebody at a VGC Regionals who had a team of 4 Delibird.
What?
Really? Oh my god.
Delibird.
What was the strategy? Like, how do you make that work?
Just present over and over.
Basically. It's not like she was really trying.
That's pretty great, though.
Oh, and Andrew just sent over a pic of a Delibird driving a semi-truck. Not FedEx, Andrew.
It's the same idea.
He's not in short shorts. And he doesn't have a hat on. I think that's UPS, actually, maybe.
Both of them wear hats.
And short shorts?
Well, they both wear pants, too. I mean, it depends on the time of year.
That's true.
I think you're thinking of mailmen, Steve.
You could be a mailman, too. That's alright. He is a legendary Pokemon, according to the Pokemon Ultimate Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
So, fair enough. I think that's all we have for you guys. Just Delibird and short shorts. Go with that.
It's stuck in my head now, but thanks.
Perfect. I guess I can mention his abilities are Vital Spirit or Hustle, and his hidden ability, because they got rid of the Dream World, is Insomnia. Still does not make him viable.
Yeah. That's so amazingly trollish that they made his hidden ability Insomnia when he already had Vital Spirit. Like, someone at Game Freak just sat down and laughed as they decided that.
He's like the Farfetch of Gen 2.
If for some reason you're ever thinking of running a Delibird, you want to do Adamant Hustle Delibird Ice Punch.
Oh, because Hustle increases your attack by 50?
Yep. But
I think the day you decided to run Delibird, you already had more problems than we can solve.
Yeah.
So.
What if you caught a shiny Delibird, though, and you were just very adamant on using him?
Well, then more power to you, Steve.
There we go.
That's what it's all about.
There we go. Time for goodbyes. Will, where can they find you?
Well, I still have that weekly disappearing Twitter account at Washing the Sink, WASHINTHESINK, and you can send friend invitations to me on Facebook, facebook.com/StabinateDSpeaker, and I will just click ignore on them.
Well, there was this one point where I swear it was Washing the Sin.
It was.
What?
And then it was Washing the Sin XXX, and it went back to Washing the Sink.
It's amazing.
Washing sinks, man.
That is
Andrew,
the appropriate place to wash.
Andrew, where can they find you?
You can find me 2 different places, one professionally and one very unprofessionally. You can find me unprofessionally on my main Twitter account, which is at Venoshock. I got very lucky with that I guess. So that's where you could find me unprofessionally.
Either that or no one likes poison Pokemon.
That too. And I actually just started a series with my really good friend Hunter. We started something called Battle Arcade, where we're taking a really, really in-depth look into Pokemon and competitive Pokemon and the history of VGC and everything like that. We want it for newer players of Pokemon or people who are not that competitive in Pokemon to be able to get into competitive Pokemon if they so choose. So we made a YouTube account and a Twitter for that. We're working on the first episode right now, which is going to go over type matchups, so it's really basic at the beginning. And yeah, if you want to support me with that, that'd be really cool because we have a decent amount of supporters right now, and it'd be cool to get a little bit more. So if you want to follow that show and whatever we do, you can follow us on Twitter at Battle Arcade. I have no idea how I got that one either. You can also find the YouTube channel at I think it's youtube.com/battlearcadeshow. And the only video we have around there right now is our channel preview trailer thing. So check that out. I also tweet at it a lot to promote it. So if you follow Venoshock, you're probably going to see me tweet about Battle Arcade. So there you go.
There you go. And Megan, thank you for being on.
No, thanks for having me. It was fun.
It was fun. Where can our listeners find you if you want them to find you?
I'd rather you didn't, but if you have to, the Pokemon Tumblr I run, again, Steve, you'll have to bleep this, but it's Pokevillains at tumblr.com. My personal is SkyPillar at tumblr.com, but I don't follow anyone, so don't take that personally. My Skype, actually, if you really want to chat to me, that's the best way. It's PEROSHENKA, so Peroshenka on Skype, and that's the easiest way to properly talk to me. But yeah, I'm not too sociable, so no guarantees.
Perfect. Finally, before I say where you can find me, even though you guys already know that, tomorrow I am launching a pretty big article, probably the biggest article that Pokemon Podcast has ever done. It is called the Kalos 10, or Kalos, or I always say it wrong, so it's just Kalos.
Carlos Chiho.
Oh. And that will be debuting sometime tomorrow. What it is the top 10 Kalos Pokemon picked by the listeners who took the survey, plus the editors or the guests and the writers of the show. We all kind of collaborated and narrowed down all the new Pokemon to the top 10. And there is some exclusive artwork and articles, and it's just not a list. It's more than a list. It's like anything we do at Pokemon Podcast. We just don't try to, just do it to do it. We do it with style and we do it with presentation, just like all the shows with the editing and the sound effects, and we try to make things enjoyable for you. So this article is another thing where it's not something you would just sit and look through. It's something that is not only eye appealing but hopefully funny, and something that will hopefully gravitate new people to the site and old people and somebody who also like lists. So that should launch sometime on Monday, and I really hope you guys enjoy it, because it's been a lot of work to build the pages and get it up and running, and I think it's amazing, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. So, go ahead.
Huh? But Aegislash and Diggersby are banned from this, though, right?
I will not say who's made the list. I will say that we cut the starters from the list. There was a lot of Froakie and Chespin and Fennekin votes, and there was a lot of Delphox and Chestnut and Greninja votes, and we didn't feel like they made an impact like the other new Pokemon did, probably because we've seen these since like February. So
you should have seen my face.
Great.
You should have seen my face of disgust when you said Delphox.
No, Chestnut's where it's at, man.
Yeah,
totally. I was Team Froakie until spoilers came out, and then I looked at spoilers, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need a Chespin. That thing is amazing."
Yeah, I mean, I felt like if we included them on the list, it would push away from the other Pokemon we wanted to really feature. So, if you happen to read it, we would love for you to tweet it to people and hashtag Kalos10. We really want it to be like the biggest article we've ever done in the last 3 years, because it is the biggest article we've done in the last 3 years, and it took a lot of work. And I will properly thank the people who did the art and helped edit and wrote copy for it in our next episode. But again, if that should be on the site tomorrow at PokemonPodcast.com. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @DraggingALake. You can follow the show on Twitter. It's @PokemonPodcast. You can like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PKMNcast. And you can +1 us on Google+. It's plus.google/+PKMNcast. That's not confusing at all, Google+. Thanks a lot. And then finally, you can rate and subscribe to us in iTunes or on Stitcher, or you can just listen to the show on PokemonPodcast.com, or we're on this new service called Scatter Radio, but no one really uses it, but you should check them out, because Scatter Radio is kind of cool. They have like a
Scatterbug.
Ooh, Scatterbug. Otherwise, thank you all for listening. Have a really great holiday. Hopefully I can wonder trade or trade with some of you, because I have the whole week off. But this has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super effective.
Super effective?
Boom, boom, boom. Good night, everyone.